want to thank you all for your time this morning as we look to solve a little case that we have going on. Many of you who have not met me before, several of you have, so that makes me excited because I kind of know some faces in the audience. But my name is Rogena Mitchell, and I am from the Global Membership and Education Department at Kiwanis International. So what that means is our department is sole purpose for engaging, recruiting, and growing the Kiwanis membership. So that's what we do. My job in particular is club opening, which is where I met several of you that are on the call today. But today, you can refer to me as Money Penny.
Money Penny.
Money Penny. And I am going to help you, all of you James Bonds out there, solve the case of the mystery of the elusive new member. That was my fabulous sound effects. Anyway, let's go ahead and mute everyone so that we don't have a whole bunch of background noise. So I want to go ahead and begin. Our topic today is strengthening the bond of Kiwanis through new membership recruitment. So today, that's what we're going to talk about. So let's get started, folks. So it doesn't matter whether you like the older Bond character or the ever hot and heavy newer Bond character. I particularly am a little partial to Sean Connery myself. It's up to you. But regardless, we have a case that we've got to solve. So let's get to it, folks. Our case today is, again, the elusive new member. So let's talk about that. Let's discuss how we solve this case. Well, you know you're gonna need to find where these suspects are. Once we know these things, we need to determine what method we're gonna use to lure them to our club. So let's talk about that for a moment. Who are these likely suspects? These elusive do-gooders in our community. How can we lure them out of their respective businesses? And we're going to also look at our current club membership. Who are our club members? Are you one of those clubs that has about 35 members and 50% of them are educators? Or are you one of those clubs that has about 20 members and 2% are business professionals? Where our goal today is to have our club be a microcosm of our community, right? I mean, we want our clubs to look like our community. So does your club look like your community? Let's go ahead and do a roster analysis, or at least look at a roster analysis so we can determine if we have all the members that we need. So, can everyone see my screen? Yes? No? You have to tell me.
We cannot see your screen.
Thank you. I needed someone to tell me that. All right, let me see about sharing that. I don't know if they gave me those privileges or not. I hope so. So we've got this roster analysis. And what does a roster analysis do? Well, it's really simple. It looks at your roster, your current roster of your club, to kind of determine what your club looks like and where there may be some deficiencies. So on the club roster analysis, and for the record, I've sent this PowerPoint to Joey G. So he's going to send it out with all the links to all the members. So what does your roster look like?
Regina,
Well,
you could try sharing your screen now. Somebody made you co-host in the meantime.
okay, because I didn't have that privilege earlier. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Sorry,
so
Regina. Can you hear me? Yeah, we just put you on as co-host. I apologize about that.
okay. I was like, I don't know if they could see it or not. All right, let's try this. So, the modern world of technology. Can you see me now? Well, my screen. No, still not.
Not yet.
No, we still don't see your screen.
We just see you.
Well,
Correct.
that's okay too.
On the bottom, are you clicking share screen?
I did. And for some reason, it's still not sharing.
Did you
But
click the
that's-
share button? And when
I-
you do the share screen?
I
you
did,
pick your screen?
y'all. I know how to do this. For some reason, it's not going though. Maybe it's
There
a
we
little
are.
bit slower.
There we go. It's
Okay.
You
going
got
now.
it. There we
Yay!
go.
There was a little delay. So let's look at this roster, this roster analysis. What does it do? Well, it's going to give you
I see
all
a
I
blank
only have a
screen.
blank
possible
We have a
screen.
blank screen.
All right.
There it is.
There we go. There we go.
Okay. There's a little delay. We'll figure it out later on. So this roster analysis gives you all the possible conceivable job descriptions that can be as a part of your community. So when you look at this roster analysis, think about in the worksheet what your current membership looks like. For example, do you have attorneys? Do you have educators? Do you have stay-at-home moms? Do you have nonprofits? I understand that there's a lot of clubs that are looking at single focused groups now, where that you may find a club that is only single moms, and that's fabulous because they might be working on a specific mission, and that mission could be books for kids. However, the vast majority of our clubs really need to focus on having a robust and diverse club. And the way to do that is to look at what we already have. So start formulating your list. If you don't have nonprofits, let's go ahead and put that down as a prospect. If you don't have educators, or if you don't have attorneys or insurance agents, go ahead and start listing those items and start looking for those people in your community that you can attract. But where do we find these elusive members? We got our list together, and that's great, right? But where do we find them? So let's look at it. One of the places that you can find a ton of new members from all walks of life, all business models, is Chamber of Commerce. So looking at the Chamber of Commerce list, think about it. Who are the people here on this list, in this directory, that would be great Kiwanians? Who are they? Where are their businesses? Well, most chamber directories are amazing when it comes to that. They're able to not only provide you with those new members, but they'll also provide you with information about their business, where you can determine if they're already serving in the community, if by chance they are looking for additional service opportunities. Who are the folks at that particular business that can really, really help you know what person you need to speak to at their business? And I know what you're thinking. What, Money Penny? Well, how are we going to do this? Well, think about the pool of people that you already know. Are you already a member of a homeowners association? What about a business professional association? Some of us participate in religious communities, and our children and grandchildren participate in sports activities and other social organizations. And last but not least, what about those nonprofits? Wait a minute, Moneypenny. So you mean to tell me we can just walk up to the president of my child's PTA, grab her, and drag her to our next Kiwanis Club meeting, right? Well, yeah, kinda. Yeah, you can kind of do that. But just remember, there needs to be a process involved in how we attract these members and how we snag and grab them and bring them to our club. So remember, we've already determined we've got some likely suspects, right? We've got folks that we are members of the associations with. We've got folks from the chamber and all of those organizations. So now, what do we do with this process? What do we do with this great list that we've got of people? We've done our roster analysis. We know what we're going after, Moneypenny. So remember, most of our chamber directories have categories. And in those categories, we can look through them and determine what professions that we're after and go straight to them. So that makes it really easy to track down those suspects that we're going for. You may also want to consider tracking down for example, nonprofit in the 06753 zip code on Google. And for those savvy investigators, check out social media. And social media, you can find a lot of information, not just about the organization that you're attracting, the people you're attracting, but also you can find out what organizations are child-friendly, service-minded. I've provided on your screen, and it will be in your PowerPoint, some information about how you can build the bridge and build connections through social media. For example, let's show of hands. How many here have a Facebook page for their club? Show of hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not everybody. Kathy, you have one? Bridgewater Club has one. I know that.
I'm not on Facebook.
Gotcha, but your club may be.
Well, it's brand new then.
So make sure, though, that you're utilizing Facebook to the best of your abilities. You know, find out who those organizations are that are liking your page. Reach out to them. Start a chat. Start a conversation with them. Get them excited about Kiwanis and being a part of it. So let's talk a little bit now about how do we lure these folks.
Website with another account. I believe this has already been transferred. Please sign in with a user ID and password for that account.
Don't get snarky.
I don't know what you didn't understand.
I can't.
You might want to mute Nancy.
We have some folks chatting here in the background.
What's I'm hearing?
So we've got these folks. We know exactly who they are, and that's great, right? But what do we do next with them? I mean, because we got to do something with them now that we have them. And that's where it comes to luring them to our club.
Subscription begins on people's date of first.
How do we do that? What's your bait, first of all?
Excuse me, Nancy, we're hearing you. I'm not sure if you realize that. Or is that something else that's coming in between your talking?
And form remote.
Emily, can you mute everybody except our speaker for now?
No, you're not muted.
Modern technology. Got to love
Not the one in
it.
control of this one. Sorry.
Got to love it. So we've got our new members. We've got our new prospects. But how do we lure them? Is your club even ready for new members? You know, many new clubs wonder why their prospects aren't just turning themselves in. You know, take me. I'm guilty of serving in the name of whatever organization. Why aren't they beating down our doors to get to our lunch meetings or logging into our Zoom meetings? Well, it's really simple, y'all. Are we using the right bait to get them? Do they even know that we have a club? How is your club getting the word on the street that you're looking for these elusive members? You know, I find it really interesting that when you ask a club member what they're known for, what their club is known for, you know, sometimes they have to think about it. Now, I won't say that this happens every single time that I ask somebody, but the fact that it even happens at all is a concern. Does your club have a signature project, a project that you're known for in your community? If not, that should be the first step to luring these members. But don't stop there. Often we'll have an event and it's amazing. It's a service project or a fundraiser and it's great and our community loves it. But we don't take the next step. We don't ask for those folks that have come, spent their time and money to get involved in something that's ours to become a part of us. We rarely do that, and that's unfortunate. And I just can't tell you, we've got to build up enough excitement around these events that we have, these signature projects that are going to make the bait attractive to our new members or prospective members. So what does your branding for your club look like? I asked earlier about your social media page. Do you have a designated person in your club that actually runs that page, or a couple of people that respond to likes and shares? Do you have somebody in your club that is over public relations? I know, Rogena, it's hard. We've got a few club members and, you know, we don't want them to wear a ton of hats. Well, you know, if we want our club to be sustainable, if we want our club to be viable, then everybody's got to get on board. Membership is the key. And that's where the branding arm comes in. How many of you, and I'm going to ask this, show of hands, how many of you have looked at the Kiwanis branding page? How many has actually looked at that? Thanks, Mark. I see you did. All right, Susan, she's waving. She's real excited about it. I like that. And Harvey, wonderful. Frank, great. I think that's amazing that you guys have. Lance, I saw your hand too. I think that's awesome because the information that's on our branding page is so rich with templates and dialogues and PowerPoints that can help us to attract ideas that can help us to attract these elusive members and prospective members. But let's do this. Give me a show of hands of those that have gone to our Buzz Builder page. Not as many.
What page?
Not as many. Lance, I see you doing your finger. Not as many. Kristen has. Woohoo! What's the beauty of the Buzz Builder page? It's like the extension of the branding book. It's like the extension of the branding page. There is a newsletter every month that talks about ideas on how to retain and how to grow your clubs. And in fact, the July episode newsletter edition has a specific article in there about growing and retaining your members. So check that out. The link is going to be in the PowerPoint. So one great way to find these suspects is to also get involved in the community. That's where outreach events come in. Partner with service organizations. Build relationships with our Kiwanis partners in your community. I'm going to tell you, Kiwanis partners really are an easy suspect. So, Rogena, who do I mean by our Kiwanis partners? Our Boys and Girls Club, our Army recruiters, our Boy Scouts associations. I mean, all of those organizations are prime suspects because we already have a corporate partnership. They already know about Kiwanis. And more often than not, we're actually doing things with them. But we fail to take the next step. And that next step is the ask, the bait, the lure, the snag, so to speak. When was the last time your Kiwanis Club was the guest program at your local PTA meeting? Now, we often go into the schools. We have SLP organizations throughout the schools, right? Yet, the PTA is an integral part of the helping arm of the school. So reach out to your PTA. Ask them, hey, are you guys looking for programs? Are you looking for speakers? Because this seems like a perfect fit for our Kiwanis Club. And afterwards, go in for the kill. Ask them to get involved in the club. This is where I see that we have a snafu, so to speak, when it comes to our clubs growing our members. We do a lot in the community. We partner with a lot of organizations in the community, but we fail to ask them to be a part of our organization. And that's where we're going to continue to grow our members. The beauty is we're all working together, right? Why not really work together? You know, it's an awesome feeling when you know that you're involved in a community program, right? But without members, how much longer will our clubs really be able to participate in these outreach events? Not for long. That's why it's really important that we always have membership growth on our minds. But often clubs look at communities to lure new members. They look outside the community to grow new members, like the outreach organizations that we talked about earlier. But how about investigating our own family members? When was the last time your club hosted a Kiwanis Family Day? Lance came to ours down in Pascagoula, Mississippi. Thanks, Lance. It was fabulous, but it was hot. It was hot. But that was an event where we invited all our K family members, our Action Club, our Key Club, our Builders Club. We invited all those people, all those kids there to have a fun day. Or when was the last time your club did a service project with your SLPs? Guys, we do this every week. We do this often, right? But let's take a little advice from our school systems. Many of us have heard that schools reward classes who, for example, reach a certain high score in a standardized test. They give them a pizza party or something like that, or, you know, a day out of uniform. Well, why can't our clubs do the same? Here's a great example. Host a Kiwanis family project and reward the students for bringing their parents. It's not rocket science, y'all. It's just thinking a little bit differently. There's so many cool and useful gift ideas that we can buy at the Kiwanis store or also at Dollar Days. I know that Gordon is very familiar with Dollar Days. He buys school supplies all the time there. I think they even call him. So step outside the box, go into our own Kiwanis family and ask for the parents to get involved. There's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, if your Builders Club or one of the other SLPs, their parents had to bring them to the service project. So why not capture them while they're there? So this is great. We got them. We got all these parents. We got all these business professionals. We got all these folks that are really wanting to be involved in this Kiwanis Club. And we actually have the nerve to sign them up. I know. So we do that, right? They're caught red-handed, wanting to do good in the community. So what do we do with them? Well, more often than not, and this is sad, we get the new members, and that's it. Remember, these new members probably don't know much about Kiwanis. They just want to do something good in their community. For kids, your new member sponsor and your membership committee can really shine here. You know, it's funny. We used to talk about this all the time when you brought in a new member. You were their sponsor. That was like a badge of honor. I mean, you brought them into this amazing family we call Kiwanis. And we used to actually work with them and get involved in their business and their lives and all of that. And yet, for some reason, we stopped doing that. We just stopped doing that. So first things first, our clubs have to have a plan. We just can't bring all these members that are chomping at the bit, all these suspects that are chomping at the bit to our club and not do anything with them. So who's responsible for keeping up with these new members? If your club does not have a membership chair or a membership committee, shame on you. That means everybody in the club is part of the membership committee. So get after it. Who's going to keep up with the leads on your new members? Who's going to conduct new member orientations? I know. What is that, Moneypenny? Well, you know, these new members really may not know anything about Kiwanis, as I said before. Somebody's got to take them under their wing. Somebody's got to teach them what this Kiwanis family is all about. Have we engaged in a plan for our new members before the end of the year? I mean, it's coming up. What about next year? A lot of our clubs have already elected our officers. What are those officer plans? What are those membership committee plans for growing our clubs? I'm going to tell you this. If we don't find something for those new members to do, within a year, they're going to be gone. They're going to be gone. I can't tell you how many times I've heard member Kiwanians say, I brought in 5 new members this year. Woo! And that's where the conversation ends. They show you their pen, their Ruby K, and they get all excited about it. But virtually, that's where the conversation ends. Folks, it's not enough just to catch them red-handed. We must do something with these people. How about a buddy system? I talked earlier about the sponsor of that new member getting real involved in that new member's life. Each member can be assigned a new member, you know, like a buddy. By pairing up a seasoned Kiwanian with a new Kiwanian, that new Kiwanian can learn so much more about the organization and what their role is in the organization. So find a buddy. How about a new members Kiwanis class? I know, wait for it. That's new. That's shocking, Rogena. No, it's not. It's not. There are several districts that are doing something very similar. Think about it like your governor's class or your lieutenant governor's class. You know, the folks that were in that group of leaders for the year. Each quarter or every 6 months, the new members in that class get together, do projects, they attend training sessions. There's a whole host of things they can do. This is important because it gives the new members purpose. It also gets them together because they're all on the same level. They're all learning Kiwanis together, and they're learning about their community together. Some clubs even offer incentives for new members to come up with service projects and ideas that are innovative to bring in even more members. I would recommend, if your club has not put in the budget a service project fund for new club ideas or new member ideas, then think about it. For example, there's one club that I know that they allocate $250 annually in their budget to their new member class, and that new member class comes up with an innovative idea for a service project or an innovative idea for bringing in new members. Our new member groups can set goals for growing their club membership, and we can offer them gift cards and dinners and all kinds of stuff when they achieve those goals. And lastly, each member should learn about the Kiwanis leadership pipeline. You know, the running joke in Kiwanis is if you just join, you're probably going to be president next year, right? We do that. You know we do. You can shake your head. The thing about it is, we have done our new members a disservice by immediately pushing them into a position without knowing what their skill set is and what their contribution can be to the club. Our new members are our club leaders for the future. So it's really important that we cultivate them and what it means to be a true Kiwanis club leader. So think about job shadowing. You know, have our new members shadow our officers or our board of directors or our committee chairs so they can learn exactly what it takes to run a club. That's really important to retain these new members, these new suspects to our clubs. So think about that. So we've got these new members. We've got this great plan together. We're ready to go, right? Well, a club member often decides this: I want to attract new members. I want to get it going, Moneypenny. And then they realize this is hard work and I'm doing it all by myself. And so they get tired and they decide, dude, this is too hard. I'll get somebody else to go after these new members. And so eventually they stop and our clubs die because we don't have any new members. So the problem with that is kids really don't stop needing Kiwanis because we stop growing as clubs. Therefore, clubs really must continue to grow. But individual members cannot do this by themselves, or you will be like my friend in the picture. You'll get overwhelmed and you'll be smiling through it, but you'll be overwhelmed. After all, we're not a club of one, right? So the best way to avoid burnout, the best way to avoid being overwhelmed is to put a team together. Some would call it, wait for it, a membership committee. Or not. It could be whatever you want to call it. I actually would prefer to call it the Got Kiwanis committee. You know, it's funny. I was doing a club opening, I think, in your neck of the woods not too long ago, and I went to a pretty innovative school. And when I went to the front desk, the receptionist had a little name tag at her desk, and it said, Director of First Impressions. And I said, that's genius. That set a whole different tone. It set a whole different mindset. And it told me a lot about that organization. So when we're thinking about, is our club ready to take in all these suspects? Think about rebranding our club. I did the Got Kiwanis committee. You know, think about rebranding what our clubs do to help attract our club members to get involved in growing our membership. No service project or no project at all is done without some issues. I mean, after all, no project is perfect, right? And membership recruitment is no exception. The club's board and their Got Kiwanis committee should regularly review the process as it's working. You know, make sure this is happening the way we want it to. Are you getting any new suspects? Are you engaging those suspects in club activities and in club leadership? How many are slated for the club leadership pipeline? Have the new members recruited new members? These are some of the benchmarks that you really might want to consider when you review your process, your recruitment plan. Is something working or is it not working? Is there some aspect of this project that we need to tweak? Well, let's do it. Let's tweak it. Unfortunately, you know, some best laid plans just don't work out as we expect them to. We're expecting to grow 5 members per quarter, and we only grew 2. Well, so what? That's better than none, right? Right. And with that, we got a good chance to see what's working and what's not working in our process. One thing to do, interview your new members. Ask them why they joined. What's keeping them there? What are they learning? Find out how their experience is going with the club. And I'm going to put a pin in that and say, it's good to kind of do that with your established members too. You'd be surprised what you find out about your club by asking your members. And then what do? You need to get more of them. Continue to get new members, continue to work your process, evaluate your process, and grow our clubs. Because at the end of the day, folks, it's all about club opening. It's all about club strengthening. It's all about growing our membership, right? That's what we're here for. So with that said, I'm going to offer you some resources. And those resources are very simple. And I will provide Joey G with links to all of those as well. So what about your membership roster? You know, remember, we got to look at that. What does our members look like in our current club? Then we also need to check out what our branding looks like. Check out what our branding looks like. Make sure that we are attracting members to this club and that this club looks good. It's good bait, right? Look at all our partners. Every community has Kiwanis partners, whether it's boys and girls clubs or whether it is Boy Scouts or Army recruiters. We've got them all in our communities. We just need to look for them. If your club does not have a signature project, it's going to be very difficult to try to attract members. It's going to be really difficult to try to get new members because they don't know what you're about. Let's face it. But once we get these new members, make sure that we train them. Make sure that they know what Kiwanis is about because we want them to stay. We want this Kiwanis club that we're a part of, that we've put our heart, sweat, money, tears, kids, everything into. We want it to be sustainable. The saddest thing that I hear, y'all, is an 80-year-old club that folds. I mean, that breaks my heart because for 80 years, they've done so much in that community, right? And we want to continue to do great things in our communities. So let's grow our clubs. Let's sustain our clubs. And if you need help with that, here's some great resources. You've got folks that are right there here to help you. Who are those folks? Well, you got Bill on the phone now. He's your district membership chair currently. So whoever your district membership coordinator is going to be, you know, reach out to them. How about your area coordinator? That's Joe Eppolito right now. Reach out to them. And you always have staff that can help. Your area director, Emily Sharp, she can help. And when all else fails, call me or message me on Facebook. I'm always here. Here's my contact information. Here's my phone number. I'm always available. So with that said, let's go to some questions or let's go to some comments. Joey G, are you handling that?
Everybody can, I think they can all unmute themselves now. Everything that you sent me, we will be sending out to the district, and we also have a recording of this too, so you'll all be provided with that. It's going to go out to everybody, though. I'll probably upload it to YouTube and get it out that way. So give me about a week or so, and I should have all that up. And I got your emails, Rogena.
Good, good. So you've got all those links and all
Yeah.
those resources.
Yep,
So
I'll make
good.
sure it goes out to everybody.
So questions. I know there has to be some because there's a ton of y'all on the screen right now. Okay, John has a question.
I don't have a question, but I have a suggestion.
Yes.
If you have a JC's in your community, and sorrowfully that JC's in Camden County died, they age out at either 35 or 40. They should be a good prospect group for your club.
Thank you for mentioning that, John, because JCs are a Kiwanis partner. So when you pull up the PowerPoint, the link goes to the Kiwanis partners page, and you'll get to see all the Kiwanis partners that we have corporately.
And Ro, we have a partnership with New Jersey JCI already, signed by past Governor Anthony Affitati.
Awesome. Okay, use it, y'all. I don't know if everybody knew that, Steve. So now everybody knows it.
I'm done for the day then.
Drop the mic. Yeah, Lance, drop the mic on that. Any more questions or comments? I mean, that's kind of a lot of information, and I was trying to be conscious of time. Yeah, who said it is? Did you say it is?
I think I did.
It is
because there's a lot to process, and I know that growing our members has been a big challenge. So I'm hoping that what you've given us can assist us in a way. So.
Well, Rome wasn't built in a day, y'all.
I know.
First things first, we've got to decide what we want our clubs to look like. I mean, that's first and foremost, and that's where the roster analysis really comes in handy. We often don't realize what our club's makeup is because everybody doesn't come to meetings. I didn't realize when I was club president that I had so many bankers in my club until I decided that we were going to go to 3 meetings a month instead of 4, and then they all came. Whoa, where did y'all come from? So, we might not know who our membership is, so that's really important to find out who our members are before we start attracting new members. And then putting a plan in place. You can't just go on the fly on this, y'all. We do have to have a plan together. It's often that we just want to, hey, we're going to do this. Yeah, we want to grow members. Okay, what's that look like? Well, it looks like nothing until you actually put a plan and get in place. It looks like nothing. It's like a dream, wishful thinking. So it's important that the board, the membership, chair, and the committee all get together and decide, okay, what do we want our club to look like? What else, y'all?
something just for the good of the order. I have a workbook that's going to be sent out to everybody. It's something I produced last year when I was district membership coordinator, and it's been sent out before, but we're going to be sending it out to everybody again. And it's really how to boost your club. And a lot of stuff that Rogena went over today, it has in there, you know, who to contact in your communities and things like that. It gives you a timeline and things like that. So when that gets to you, if you want to use that to help with your, you know, boosting of your membership, you know, feel free to use it. So.
One thing I wanted to bring up, and this hasn't been covered, all of us know that we are facing very challenging times right now. We talked before the presentation about the hurricane that we just experienced. We're all dealing with COVID-19 pandemic. So some of our clubs aren't meeting if they face-to-face. If they are meeting, they may be meeting on Zoom or something like we're doing right now. And so that adds another level to what do we do about growing members? I mean, we're not even doing a project face-to-face. We're not even meeting face-to-face. How do we do that? Well, if all of y'all have not visited the Kiwanis website under the COVID tab, shame on you, first of all, but it's in the PowerPoint as well. Bottom line is, we should still have membership on the brain. And I know it's hard because we're thinking, I haven't left my house really, you know, for 6 months, right? Yeah. Okay. You know, I'm stressed because I'm used to traveling. I haven't been anywhere. It's stressing me out. But my little baby club in Redneck, Mississippi has gotten 6 new members during COVID. How do you do that, Rogena? Well, number one, I just ask people. I got to go to the grocery store. I mean, you know, I got to eat. Mama likes to eat. So go to the grocery store, ask them, hey, we're doing this Zoom call next week. We'd love for you to get on it. What is it about? Oh, you don't know about Kiwanis? And I act like it's like this big deal, like they're out of the loop on this big secret in Van Cleve with our one red light. So then they're like, what is Kiwanis? Guess what? Reeling them in. And that's how you do it. You just have to virtually ask. One thing that our club has done during the pandemic is we often meet at our school district, one of our buildings in our school district. Well, we couldn't do that during COVID. So we decided, let's go ahead and support our local restaurants because they're gonna need us now more than ever. So every meeting we hop to a new restaurant. And out of those restaurants that we've, you know, patronized, we've gotten 3 new members just from meeting at their restaurant. They didn't know we existed because we were meeting at the school district. The school knows we're there, but the restaurants didn't. And so we're going to all the restaurants and meeting with them and asking them to get involved. So it really boils down to, what are you willing to do as a club to grow your membership? And if you're not the person that wants to go out because of health conditions or what have you, don't be that person. But you can go online and research some of your local State Farm agents or some of your local nonprofits to hand over to your membership committee so they can start going out there, or they can start Zoom calling people. So whatever your skill set is, we're still about membership. And everybody in every club has a stake in this case. It can be solved. It's not rocket science. We just got to do it. So I'm sorry I didn't give you like a whole bunch of like, you know, revolutionary, earth-shattering, you know, ideas. But sometimes we just got to go back to basics, y'all. You know, how did you get in your Kiwanis club?
Rogena, you're saying now that in the current environment, we're finding that people will come to virtual meetings, and it's easier for them to come to a virtual meeting than just about any other meeting, as long as they have a computer
or a phone, because you know there's apps on the phone, and they can do it in their pajama pants.
One other thing we're finding, Rogena, with some of the new people we're connecting with, there's a lot of people that in New Jersey, at least in northern New Jersey and probably southern, commuted for very long times. Now they're discovering their own towns, and they have time on their hands, and it's working. I mean, bear in mind all the excuses people gave you about being too busy before, who said they couldn't think about joining Kiwanis. Most of those conditions have changed. It's worth asking again. And I will also tell you that, so I've been working with the Sparta Club. John will be really happy to hear this. I just got the keys to their Facebook page yesterday night, okay? I launched a Facebook ad this morning. Already got one lead. I launched it at 10:22 and we've got a lead already, all right? Like somebody's already given their information, interested in membership. And when I got in there, I found a message from somebody from like June asking more information about the club. And I reached out to them, and they're interested too. And I checked them out. They're like some kind of a financial advisor who's from Parsippany and moved to Sparta. And his email address ends in 1961. So he's just the perfect. If that's his birth year, then that he's the perfect age for Kiwanis. That makes him 59.
Good news, Garden. Good news.
Yeah.
Another thing that I want to mention to you as well is, and we're running out of time, but it's still available. Kiwanis International has offered a dues waiver for our Kiwanis International dues. And I believe, Gordon, that our New Jersey district is doing something.
We're waiving new member fees for the remainder of the year.
Right.
Both
I knew there was
Kiwanis
something.
and us. Now, that doesn't obligate clubs to not charge people. Okay, nothing does. Clubs get to, basically, we don't join Kiwanis International. Our club joins Kiwanis International, and we join our club. All right. So the bottom line is the club prevails. The best practice that a lot of people seem to be incorporating, though, is they're collecting dues payments for the 2020-2021 year, and they're giving people the next month for free.
So we've got that available, and that really can help. People have been furloughed, even though some are going back to work. They still may be going back to work at a reduced payroll amount, what have you. This dues waiver can really, really help. And even if the person is looking for networking opportunities, if you just lost your job and you're looking to get a new job, well, joining Kiwanis may really help you, because we've got all these different professionals that are part of our clubs, right? Doesn't matter why they come, as long as they come. So whatever tool you need, whatever bait you need to use to attract people to your club, utilize it. I mean, don't make up crap. Don't do that. Don't make up stuff. But if your club ain't doing that, don't tell people your club are doing that. But, present your club in the best light, and please, please, please ask. Yes, Eileen.
One thing that I did on my own computer, and you guys can do on yours, you can get everybody in the township, their directory, the schools. Each one of the schools often has the names of the teachers. So if you don't have their email address, guess what? It's there online. So that gives you another way of finding people in your own town, or a town that you want to expand into.
Eileen, that is a great example of beating the pavement and finding your suspect. What I will tell you is this, because I've experienced this. I've emailed them and I've left a message and they didn't call me back. So, I don't know. I'm done with that life. No, you're never done with that life. Find out another way to reach out to them. I will tell you this. I have often sent people Facebook messages on their business page, and even though I've called them and sent them emails and they never responded, I sent them a message on their Facebook page and they instantly responded. It was like, where have you been all my life? Whatever way we need to be able to reach out to them, do it, use it. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Any more questions? Yes, Caitlin.
Yes, I was wondering with the schools and restaurants, what have they been letting you guys do to help out according to COVID?
Well, the first things first, they're letting us, come. They're giving us an opportunity to have our meeting there, which is important, because they're often having other, community members come as well. So when they see us there, not in a private room, in the middle of everything, doing our pledge, talking about Kiwanis, it's like, who are these guys? What are they doing? I mean, it's instant notoriety, right? The second thing is there's some clubs that their businesses, the restaurants won't allow them to come in. So what they're doing is those clubs are purchasing meals from the restaurant and supplying them to first responders and things like that. You're still helping the business stay afloat, but you might not be able to go to the business and actually have, your lunch meeting. So, whatever you can do to keep your businesses, your local community businesses open is going to really resonate as you try to grow your membership going forward.
Okay, thank you.
Also find out what your local restaurants and businesses are doing in the community and ask them if you can partner with them. Many hands make light work, right? So if they need some assistance with, a project that they're trying to do, help them out with that.
That's true. Thank you.
Well, my time's wrapping down. I've got 3 more minutes, I think, unless Joey G shuts me down. Might shut me down.
I have no control.
Oh God.
I believe
well,
it's
the Zoom gods are going to shut me down in 3 minutes. So any more questions, any more comments? I really want y'all to realize that we can do this even during COVID. We can do this even during a hurricane. We can do this. There's nothing that can stop a determined Kiwanian. Hello.
Actually, I got one question. I wanted to see how the rest of that conversation Nancy was having turned out. No, I'm kidding.
That's why I can't bring you on these.
I do want to say thank you for this. I know I'm doing my part to support the small businesses. I've gone to the small restaurants and gotten takeout. So, I think that's a great idea. That's one thing. So, again, what you've given are great ideas.
Getting your club members involved in those ideas. That's where it's going to be key.
I believe they are as well. I'll find out.
Yeah. And, you would be surprised. You support a business long enough, they might just feel guilty enough to join your club. Whatever the bait needs to be, y'all. But, honestly, they want to support people that support them. And right now we have a dues waiver. Woo! Use it. Use it.
Thank you for your great presentation. I think we've heard a lot of good ideas. Some of them are ideas that have been around a long time and we forget to go through them, and a lot of new ideas. So thank you.
You're welcome, Miss Celeste. All right, guys, you've got my contact information.